Welcome to day 17 of Pelling with Glen. Today is a left-hand day, so we're going to be pelling with our left hand today. We're going to work through all the shots that we've learned so far, doing 10, 10, and 10 at a high, middle, and low target location. And then after that, we're going to learn a new shot today. So to start with, go ahead and put your sword in your left hand. Go ahead and stand up. If you're outside, enjoy the beautiful weather. Sword leg back. We're going to start with our frame chop. Pick our three targets, high, medium, and low. We're going to do 10, 10, and 10. So, frame chop, begin. And a little bit closer for that low shot into the leg. Good. All right, go ahead and switch feet, sword leg forward. Remember, as always, want to make sure our front toe is pointing at the bad guy. Our right foot is 45 to 90 degrees off from center line. We want to keep our hips and our shoulders locked as we throw these shots. And we don't want to pick our hand back or pull our hand back. We don't want to chamber the shot when we throw. We want to throw forward motion, not back, then forward motion. So, second set of 30. Middle. And a little bit closer to get those legs, 10 legs. Good. All right, if you're not quite caught up, that's fine. Always feel free to pause the video to go at your own pace. You're not going at my pace, you're going at your pace. So let's go ahead and switch the sword leg back again. Do our vertical chop. Remember, with these, you want to keep your hand up as high as possible. Our shot should be here, not here. So, as always, if you've got multiple levels of a pel, lucky you, and use all of those different levels for your 10, 10, and 10. I've got one level, and it's ridiculously high, so I'm going to throw all 30 of mine up here. And begin. Good. Let's go ahead and switch feet, sword leg forward. All right, 30 of those. Let's go ahead and switch back to sword leg back. We're gonna do our jab chop. So again, 10, 10, and 10. A little bit closer for that leg. Let's go ahead and switch feet. 10, 10, and 10. Ah, 10 middle. 10 low. I'm gonna get a little closer because I'm kind of out of range. A little half step closer there. 10 low. Very good. Go ahead and take a short break. If you need to, like I do, go ahead and clean your glasses off. All right, so that was our same side chops. Now we're gonna do cross body, sword leg back. Do our frame chops. I'm gonna throw a high, medium, and a low. 10, 10, and 10. My 10 middle. And last but not least, 10 low. Good. Let's go into our jab chops. Sword leg back, cross body, 10, 10, and 10. Ten middle. And 10 low. Remember, as you're doing these, you want to keep as much explosive power as you can to the shot. You don't want to be like, I'm throwing shots. You want to be throw the shot, right? Get that explosive power so your shots are fast, right? You want to practice fast. You want to practice the power. You don't want to just be, because if you get in the habit of just throwing, just kind of, I'm here throwing shots, type shots, you're not going to get that speed and power you want to build into your muscle memory. So make sure every shot when you throw it, assuming you are throwing at speed and you're not working through the shot, but when you start throwing those shots at speed, always with the power, right? Always make sure you're trying to put a good initial explosive movement into that. So I didn't forget our last 10 down here. Jab chops to the leg, cross body. Good. So that is all of our chops that we've learned. And the last 2 days, we've learned a new mechanic, the full wrap. That wrap comes out. I use my back leg to push off, bring that at hand forward until I'm about 45 degrees off my target. And then I rotate my hand and bring my hand out. And it gives me a nice little pop, and it actually gives me this nice triangle as well, which lets me get around people's defensive gear. So, left hand day wraps. Today, rather than work on different levels, because I want to keep this a little bit simple today, we're just going to pick a middle spot, and we're going to throw all 30 wraps into that middle spot. So, if you need to go slow, go slow. It's perfectly okay to do all 30 of your shots at slow speed. So you can be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're doing our 30. Get to work. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. 30 sword leg back. Go ahead and switch to sword leg forward. And we're going to throw our 30 shots. Again, today we're just going to pick one spot. And we're going to throw all 30 into that one spot. We need to take a short break, let your arm rest and recover. That's fine. This isn't about doing some quick sprints to get it all done. This is a marathon. We're trying to get it right. We're not trying to get it done as fast as possible. So if you need to pause the video and take a break, that's fine. So let's do our 30 left hand sword leg forward, full wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice where my hand goes if you want to watch the overhead camera. This next one, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, so that was 30 left hand sword leg forward wraps. So now we're gonna learn a new shot. All right, and it is a left hand day, so we're gonna learn it with our left hand first, then come over to our right hand. So all you lefties, today's your day to shine. All you righties, today's your day to know what it feels like to be left-handed. So I'm gonna do it left-handed, but I'll also go through and work through it right-handed, so don't panic. So let's go ahead and take a look at the shot. So let's go ahead and put your sword in your left hand. We're gonna start sword leg back for this. And this shot is basically like pitching, right? If you throw overhand, not underhand, right? Think fast pitch baseball, not fast pitch softball. You throw the ball, you throw a ball, right? That motion, right? We're gonna do the same thing to generate the power for our wrap. So we're gonna come forward, we're gonna bring our shoulder forward, right? That's gonna bring our hand back a little bit, and that's fine, just like you would throwing a baseball. And then we're gonna come forward. So with a sword in hand, that looks like this. And that's like a nice little flowing motion, right? Wish I was at the beach, but I'm not. So I'm gonna come forward. Notice brings my sword back, that's fine. I'm gonna sword back. I've got frame, just like we do with the frame chop, right? This looks kind of like the frame chop would begin, but it's not the frame chop, because when I get to here, rather than bring my arm forward and here, I'm going to bring my hand forward and bring my elbow up. So I throw. Notice I'm driving off that back leg. It's just like all the other shots with the rotational mechanic. I'm going to drive off that leg, use that to power my shot forward. Shot comes forward, and I let my sword tip come forward. I lift my elbow up, and then bring my hand out and my elbow out, right? So just like when I throw this shot, I finish by bringing this motion. When I get to here, I'm going to finish by bringing this motion. So what that looks like at slow speed, now we don't want to snap back. We don't want to come back here, right? Because one, that puts a snap in our wrist. We don't want to snap our wrists, right? Our motion should never terminate with the wrist in that major motion. And second, that's going to pull my shot away from my opponent, and I can miss, and it's going to really decrease the power of the shot, right? And I don't have to blast people in amp guards. It's not like, oh, I have to have a ton of power in the shot. But the more power I take out of the shot when it lands, the more I have to put into it to get to that audible pop level, right? I don't need a ton of power to put in it, but I'd rather put the minimum in it rather than put more than the minimum and then take some out at the last minute, right? So, again, I'm gonna do 10 slow here. Go ahead and grab your sword and come join me. We're gonna come forward with the baseball pitch, and then we're gonna bring that hand over, bring that elbow up and out, and then rotate in. Bam. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, an area where you want to customize it to your own personal strength level and physicality level is going to be how much you bring the sword tip out to get that wrap. Because you can throw it with the sword tip coming in straight. But if you want to get more wrap, or you're having trouble with that final transition rolling it in, you can bring your sword out a little bit more and get a little more circle on it. So your shot can look more like this. Right? Notice I'm not bringing my hand over for this motion, right? That's our full wrap. I'm bringing my hand forward and then rotating it. So, 10 at speed. And then 10 at whatever speed works for you. If you need to go back to slow to make sure you're getting that mechanic, that's fine. If you want to try and do some fast to see if you get the flow for that, that's fine too. So 10 at whatever speed you like. All right, so that was 10 shots with our left hand at 3 different speed levels. All right, so that was sword leg back. Before we switch hands, we actually want to do sword leg forward. So let's switch to sword leg forward. It's gonna be the same mechanic, right? I'm gonna pitch the baseball, and then when my sword tips forward, I'm gonna bring my hand out and my elbow up and my hand out. Bam. Right? You will notice when this hits, it tends to bounce in and down, right? So what you can do is you can accept that, that's fine, and be like, well, the shot's gonna have a little downward deflection, that's fine. Or you can make sure that you're terminating that motion that's down and fully transitioning to over before it lands, right? And I'll give you that cleaner bounce away to the side. All right, notice those still have a slight downward component, but not a lot. It's not skipping down like some people's will when they first start doing this, because you don't want this shot, right? You want this shot. So, also people hopefully aren't as bouncy as my Pel is. So, sword leg forward. Let's go ahead and do 10 of these slow. So, pitch the baseball and then lift your elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one was kind of weak. 8, 9, 10. All right. Pitch the baseball, lift your elbow. Pitch the baseball, lift your elbow. Notice my sword's coming away from the target, but that's because my hand's coming away to put that snap in. My wrist at final moment of impact is static, right? So I pitch the baseball, I come out, and my wrist is not doing any rotation here. I'm not doing anything to change my wrist except for a little bit of deviation. All right? So it's important we're not rotating our wrist as we're completing these shots, because that's what gives us elbow injuries or tendon injuries that are called tennis and golfer's elbow. So that was 10 slow, I think. I wasn't really counting. Let's go ahead and do 10 at a faster speed. I do want to reiterate that when I'm throwing that shot, I'm not pulling back, right? I'm not doing this, right? In fact, I felt a little twinge in my elbow when I did that, because at the very end I snapped, and that snaps my wrist, and I'm loading back, right? I'm pulling my arm out, but I'm not snapping back with my legs or my shoulder. So bam here is fine, bam here is not. So 10 at a faster speed. All right, very good. Now we're gonna switch to our right hand. So let me go ahead and switch my camera now. Now we're gonna do the right hand version of this. So we're gonna start sword leg back. We're going to pitch the baseball. Now, obviously most people can't throw well with both hands. That's fine, you don't actually have to throw a baseball. It's just a similar mechanic to just help you learn that mechanic. So if you're with your offhand, you're like, I can't throw with this hand, right? That's fine, you can at least lob a ball with this hand probably, right? If you can't throw well, right? And we're not actually throwing a baseball, this isn't Major League Baseball. We just need that mechanic, that motion, right? So with this arm, we're gonna come forward. It's like we're throwing that baseball, all right? Couple practices, just throwing that baseball. Again, we're pushing off that rear outside leg. Here we go. Just using that to generate our power. And then at the end, same thing. We're just gonna lift our elbow up, and if necessary, bring our hand out to get more angle, all right? So let's do 10 slow. All right, good. Let's go 10 a little bit faster. So if you're still having trouble getting the mechanic, feel free to do these 10 slow as well. And now 10 at whatever speed is working for you, right? So if you want to do some more slow ones, that's fine. If you want to try it out at speed to get a feel for it, go ahead and do that too. All right, that was 30 with our sword leg back. Let's go ahead and switch the sword leg forward. And we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna start out nice and slow. Just kind of get that pitching motion. Bringing that hand forward. And then at the end, we pick our elbow up and rotate our hand in. Or rotate our, should I say, our whole arm, not just our hand. Bam. All right, so let's do 10 slow. So a quick note for you people, especially if you're having trouble getting that motion over and you feel like you're kind of hitting it down and off, you don't have to throw directly at the target when you're throwing the baseball pitch. You're not throwing a ball at them, you're throwing a ball past them. So you can change how far away from them you throw that shot. Like I might throw here directly at camera 13 and then rotate around, right? And that will give me a wider wrap, right? If I throw here, notice that makes it easier for me to wrap because I'm already got my hand over here in space. Then if I throw here and have to bring my hand out, right? Neither one is wrong, but one may help you get the angle you want a little more easily, right? So the disadvantage of throwing out here in space is now my arm is exposed much longer. I've got this big gap because my hand's in the outside lane this whole time, right? If I throw in, my hand is potentially even in the inside lane, but certainly closer to my body, it makes it easier for me to block and makes it less inviting for them to throw a shot at me, right? So if I throw here, bam, that gives them less, oh, I should throw a shot at Glen, than this. This is definitely a, oh, I should throw a shot at Glen opening, right? So, two different options. I don't recall now if we did our 10, so let's do 10 more at whatever speed you like. All right, good. So that wraps up today's Pelling with Glen. We learned a new shot, which is a new way to throw a wrap, and that is basically using a fastball pitching motion, right? A baseball pitching motion, right? And then at the end, we lift our elbow up and we bring our hand out in space. So, bam there. So, congratulations on another successful day of Pelling, and I'll see you tomorrow.